Oh, hello. I'm back again with another video. This one's actually like few weeks or few months old. But, yeah, it's really hilarious that this is what Trump thinks of his MAGA supporters. Thinks that they're ugly. So, yeah, let's get to the video.
Trump's rallies have become about is his own grievance, his own complaints, his own opportunity to whine for hours on end, so much so that, of course, his crowds have begun leaving early more and more, and that drives him even crazier and leads him to even more grievance and complaints. And that is exactly what we saw out of Donald Trump today, because although he hit the classics of attacking President Biden, attacking the moderators of his debate with Kamala Harris, and of course attacking Kamala Harris as well, he took a little bit of a turn to who he wanted to call out, who he wanted to poke fun at, who he wanted to attack during this rally. And for some reason, that became his own MAGA supporters. And he did it multiple times. And we are going to check out those examples because, again, it was just so unhinged, and we are seeing more and more of this behavior from Donald Trump. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy this channel, to hit that subscribe button. It really goes a long way in supporting what we're doing here. Now, Donald Trump's rally today was in Pennsylvania, and for some reason, Donald Trump wanted to share his general feelings about the state, a state he's trying to win, but it doesn't sound like it when he speaks like this.
Attention retirees, if you're willing to be at your computer from 9 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. on
I'm here only because they cheat, and they cheat in this state, especially in Philadelphia.
Oh, he is so full of it.
Areas, but for the most part, but Philadelphia's out of
To
control.
him, cheating is
Detroit
fair
is out
and
of
free
control.
elections.
Atlanta is out of control. Places are out
To
of
him,
control.
cheating
Out of
is
control. Because if there was no
well, you've
cheating,
got
So it seems like Trump's plan for
90% of your
victory in this
population
election
voting
is to attack
by
two of the
mail,
most important swing states
not
in this
dealing with the
election, and the
racism
people
at the
in them in
polls.
both Pennsylvania and Georgia. Now, when Donald Trump was talking about the type
I
of
wanna kill
people in the
myself.
type of
I want a
places who
cigarette.
cheat, those certain people, I think we know who he was grossly
Never
trying to
start.
describe there, the dog whistle that he is clearly blowing to all of his followers and supporters there. But it's also funny for him to just say that Pennsylvania is terrible, Georgia is terrible. What type of a plan is this? It's just strange. But again, like I said, there were a lot of different attacks and grievances he wanted to air out, and one of those was against President Biden. And it's not what you would expect, actually. It is a little out of the blue and a new attack he has, but let's just take a look.
happen. And, Joe Biden ought to get up and say, you're threatening a candidate, a former president and a candidate. And if you do anything to him, it's okay. Look, it's a very dangerous business. But Biden ought to say, you do anything to him, we're going to blow you off the face of the earth. And then we're not going to have any problems. Right? But he can't say that.
Because he's not an
Other presidents
authoritarian
would say
leader.
that. He just can't probably
Why?
get the words out. But I'll tell you what,
He
if
wants
it
to
were
do these
reversed, if
things
I were
that
president
fascist
and somebody was
authoritarian leaders
threatening
do.
a president, even if I didn't like that person and he was from the
This should be a
opposite
dog
party,
whistle to
I
all
would
Trump
tell the
supporters.
threatening country,
Wake up.
you do anything to him, we're going to blow you off the face of the earth.
So Donald Trump, the guy who for years has been saying that President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have us on the verge of World War III, is now instructing Joe Biden to threaten Iran? Is that his genius plan? I know, and we talk about it all the time, that his national security advisors, Donald Trump's, are the group of people who have come out against him the most because they know how dangerous he is on a global scale. But geez, man, what is this? Blow them off the face of the planet? This guy, as we already know, probably shouldn't have the nuclear codes. I don't know who hears that and is like, you know what? I want this to be our, I want this guy to be the head of our military. I want him running things. No, I certainly don't. But again, it's expected that Donald Trump would be attacking President Biden because he's so aggrieved and angry that he took that shellacking from him in 2020. But like I said earlier, he went after his own crowd and he shared some candid thoughts about how one of his supporters looks to him and used a certain word to describe. Yeah, we'll just take a look.
You know, I built hundreds of miles of wall. I'm going to buy one of those and come out here. I built hundreds of miles of wall and it worked. And I was going to add another 200 miles, and then we had a very disruptive election. Horrible thing happened. Horrible, horrible. Including in this state. We won it in
horrible
2016,
is you
usually in the
losing
state.
a fair
Bad
and free
things happened
election.
because I love you and you love me. We did so good here. But you know what? I built hundreds of
Hell,
miles
you stole the
of
election
wall,
against Hillary.
and I'm going to walk onto this platform.
But Hillary didn't
someday
want to
in some
fight,
place,
didn't want to
and I'm gonna
challenge
wear
it.
that ugly, horrible suit.
It's like Hillary had every right
Because it's emblematic.
to do what you did on January 6th and
It's
didn't.
emblematic of what we've done, right?
Saying one of your supporters and what they're wearing is ugly. It's just like, this is the cult of MAGA. The guy is showing up in a wall jacket, and I hate to agree with Donald Trump. It is pretty ugly. You didn't need to call the guy ugly too. But it's funny because that guy's going to come back to the rallies, and he's going to still support Trump. He called him out. He made fun of him. He probably doesn't care. That's a perfect example of the cult of MAGA right there. Showing up in the merch and the gear he made his own and then getting insulted for it and still being like, yeah, awesome. But like I said, the insults continued, and you're really going to want to hear what he's had to say about David Muir right here, because it was just ridiculous.
During the debate, I killed her in the debate, but I have crooked people. What they do, I had 3-on-1. I didn't even mind that. I still won by a lot. But why? I asked a question. And the David Muir, how about him? I said, how about that guy? Pretty boy, you know, we call him Pretty Boy. That's about it. That's about all. But you know what? I said, crime is at a level like we've never seen. It's rampant. It's rising.
Oh,
Okay.
shut your
He
face.
interrupts me. I'm sorry, sir. Crime in this country has gone down. I said, you know, without looking at numbers, is there anybody in this room that think that crime has gone down? It's gone through the roof. And largely because of migrant crime. I've been to a big, it's not only that.
The Donald Trump-David Muir relationship is pretty interesting. For some
pretty
reason, Trump
gay.
before the debate was talking about how great David Muir was going to be, and it seems like he kind of likes him. He's still nice to him, talking about him in like a small way when he is attacking him, says he doesn't have the great hair he did before, called him Pretty Boy there. I don't know what's going on with Trump and David Muir, but I'm sure David Muir doesn't really want to be a part of it. But again, a strange attack. And like I said, he continued those. This was just the grievance factory coming out of Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. And those continued with this attack he had of lies on Nancy Pelosi.
And she took total responsibility, J6. Nancy Pelosi said she turned down thousands of
She was never
troops,
offered any
National Guard.
special
Now, you didn't need
National
thousands, you
Guard
needed
usage.
10,000. I over 10,000 or more.
I don't know what Trump is trying to accomplish with continuing to bring up January 6th, besides reminding us what a threat to democracy he is and what a liar he is. But I guess it's an interesting campaign choice, if you could call it that. And the other interesting choice he continues to make, not just talking about his attempt to overthrow our election, but trying to cast doubt on the upcoming election, when he says weird things referencing God somehow right here.
If there was no cheating, if God came down from a high and said, I am going to be your vote tabulator for this election, I would leave this podium right now because I wouldn't have to speak. We wouldn't have any problem. We have to have a landslide because they cheat so damn much. We have to have a landslide.
We did a video on it on this channel the first time we started to hear Trump use this line. It was when he was talking to Dr. Phil, and he said if Jesus counted the votes in California, then he'd win the state. And it's funny it would be funny if it wasn't so dangerous. And we have to talk
Well,
about
the
this. I
thing
think it's
is,
important not to just
California
laugh at it,
already
but
is a
he trying
Republican
more and more
state.
to sow doubt about this election. The
You
media is
assume that
barely
they're
covering
blue
it.
because
He
they've
is
got a lot
threatening poll
of
watchers. He is threatening election officials, and no one seems to want to talk about it. But of course, we are going to on this show,
ethnics.
and we have to continue to
I'll
call it
say
out. And
ethnics.
it's not just the let's
Native
laugh at the crazy things. He
Californians.
says we need to take them seriously and stop saying
People
washing
whose
them
families have
like the
been there
mainstream
since it
media
was
does.
Mexico.
The one thing that is difficult to try to take seriously is when Donald Trump says something like this.
They don't even think about it. These are rough, vicious, rougher than anything you can imagine. There is no, and I say it all the time, if you want to do a movie on some of these people that you're going to be looking at in 2 minutes, if you wanted to do a movie, there's no actor in Hollywood that could play the role. There's nobody that could, these actors, you know, they're a little bit shaky. They can't play the role. They bring in a big actor and you look, you say, oh, he's got no muscle content. He's got no muscle. We need a little muscle. Then they bring in another one, but he's got a weak face. He looks weak. No, these guys have the whole package.
Oh,
He's gone from just fear-mongering to like these fantasy lands diatribe attacks. I don't really know what they are at this point, saying that the actors Hollywood couldn't play the individuals coming across the border. I don't know what he's saying. He doesn't know what he's saying. He wants to ramble. He wants to make stuff up. And of course he wants to distract. But we have to keep our focus on his failed policies, his failed leadership, and his failed ability to get anything done, his failed agenda. And that's what we have to keep talking about. And we're going to on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.
Okay, so that was another new, not new, but pro-democracy voice that I've come across. Just it's so important that we don't allow this orange person to become our president again. Because things were left horrible by him. So he gave tax breaks to so many wealthy corporations, which, I mean, there are numbers to prove that, oh yeah, these companies who make X millions, who only needed to pay like a couple thousand in taxes, avoided their taxes to the point where they're paying like $200. And it's like, that's damage to the country. It's like, we need companies to pay their fair share of taxes. It's like, you pay your fair share of taxes. I pay my taxes. I mean, I file my taxes. Generally, I don't get nothing back. And if I do, it goes into paying for the tax fee. That free file needs to be made more accessible. But yeah, that's just what's on my mind with Trump calling his own followers names. Like, he truly does not respect anyone or anything. So yeah, until next time, hit that like button, hit that share. Even if you didn't really laugh at anything, just help me out. Until next time, peace.